world of spirits, relatives donate 2.5 grams of gold, an agate gem, silver coins, cloth, knives, plates, and a few more kilograms of rice.
Itu nama perhandiai jadi pulang itu maka kita jadi ini ya au datang legun tentang anak basir gitu dan berlaku 50.000 maka ike anggota ije sekian yaitu 23 biti yaitu ike menyebut lalu lasan basir sila 2 juta sila kayu jadi santai-santai 2 juta. Nah, dia kan pai. Dia urus telu macam. Dia harus mendoan. Dia mikir. Telu kali. Nah, jadi aku berlaku berkebijaksanaan le terima. Supaya 350 kau induan menjadi angka ganjil. Ijah jujuk. So ketun memutus. Harus tambah apa? Ya, betul. Telu kali aja. Manduan menjadi angka ganjil. Terserah pembayaran nih bekare. Malabian ketua rejaki, malabian kiampin penatau perlahan. Enggak itu hong besar harus. 577.777 rupiah. Ayo nyampai kamar. Lelo aku mau nisain dulu lah. Aku sakau cuma lahap, kandang gerantung basir nganjal. Telun. Au dia terangsang nolek teh. Mangga.
The power of the priest alone does not suffice to carry out the ceremonies. Sanyang, heavenly spirits of the upper world, are called. 3 chickens are sacrificed to them, in addition to blood, rice cooked in coconut leaves, eggs, betel, water, and cigarettes. Women have the job of correctly assembling the sacrifices for each respective ceremony and setting them up in front of the priest. The ceremony cannot start until this has been done. The women then bind Tekan Hamburuan, strengtheners of the soul, onto the right wrist of the priest. Dealing with Sangyang spirits of heaven always means a risk to both body and soul, so the priest must be forearmed. The Tekan Hamburuan is supposed to be an agate stone, but as these are extremely rare and expensive these days, silver coins, pearls, or currency notes are bound to strengthen the priests. The women cleanse the deeds, words, breath, and thoughts of the priests with blood. The lead priest chants each verse. The others repeat it. After the sun goes down and end in the early morning hours of the following day. A few families intend to sacrifice a cow for their deceased. They hire a figure carver to prepare the stake upon which they shall bind the animal for its ritual killing. Figurine carver Angloy tells us about his work.
Itu buhen buku sepunduk di tanpa babi dan arai tujuan kuna. Sepunduk ije babi tanpa amun sejarah yete ulun jetiba hatue netu ija apa ini bah liau ijakan ini bah. Amun sepunduk te babi jadi netu hatue.
The arrival of the Laluhan, the boats of the guests, is one of the social high points of every TIWAH. Whenever a village plans a TIWAH, it seeks out a partner village prepared to support the TIWAH with food. Half a year ago, the people of Tumbang Malohoi helped out today's guests with their TIWAH. Now, it is the guests' turn to repay their debt. The hosts especially honor their guests by carrying them piggyback up the banks. Once arrived, a pantan, a sort of turnpike, blocks the way into the village. Here, the guests must undergo a ritual questioning by the TIWAH hosts. Who are they? Where did they come from? Why did they travel here? And above all, what kind of presents have they brought with them? Once all these questions have been satisfactorily answered, the host and guests mutually feed each other with rice and baked goods. Rivers of rice wine always flow at the pantan reception. A representative of the guests distributes the tuwak out of a hollowed-out buffalo horn. Then the guests break through the pantan, carry their gifts to the festival square, and set them up for presentation. Everyone attentively listens to a list of gifts the guests brought.
400 Berhas ijek quintal bandera telu manok ijekungan panitia anggota TIWAH Anda Sup Ikarilas dan kawan-kawan membayar andep lanting Laluhan yang Sungai Kuhung.
After the village has elaborately celebrated the guests' arrival, a few of the families carry their sampundu to the festival square. The families deposit sacrifices into the earth before they can set up their sapundu, eggs for cooling, that is, cleansing the earth, different woods to hold back evil influences, coins, cigarettes, and betel for the bearers of the earth. Families which cannot afford to or will not sacrifice a cow then set up small pig cages around the Sankaraya. The old woman sprinkles the buffalo with perfumed water. The owners then throw rice at the animal as if to say, "You are a chosen animal, for you have the sacred duty of accompanying the souls of our departed into the world of spirits." The pigs are also told the reason for their sacrifice, so that they will not curse the people because of their fate. 5 buffaloes and cows will be bound to the sapundus this afternoon, and more than a dozen pigs locked up in the cages. People dance all through the night around the buffaloes and cows, keeping them from lying down and going asleep.
Busau ye buah binam leteng kabe belum kia padu lampang kajurah rawe lebahing bapanting kia duhung mama tandang langka sawang apang bungai nyembang kia balu indurang kang penyang pasulan gajah mina pawang yo ibitim bulan betau kai kini rawe duhung mama tandang langka sawang apang bungai itu aku jadi antang karamahan dumah mariaran aku lasang jambu bahandang luing lumpuk munte bulau manyarurui tarungku ije junjun helu kwan duhung mama tandang langka sawang apang bungai jadi sampai ketika aingku kai kini rawe antang aku karimahan dumah haduanan kajalahan anak liau haring karingan belum mijenarung kujunjun helu akam ya lenunjung daku mintingang dia lunuk manangking mangkat hirum tambun keisen baras ngalimbang akia balu indurangkang penyang marai bulan kang kahunga yo duhung mama tandang kai kini rawean duan hambekan katun tikas bulan kai bebe ampin jai Limbala jadi habantar kubu api nang burung akingang nolak lonok.
The heavenly escort of the spirits, Raja Dohung Mama Tandang, leaves his ship along with the 35 souls from the village of the dead in the upper world. They head towards the earth. The souls are not directly brought into the village, but spend the rest of the night in the outlying graveyard. It is a belief of the Naju Dayak that the souls of humans and animals leave their bodies during dream states. That is why the cattle are robbed of sleep, so their souls will stay in their bodies. Otherwise, the priest could not accompany the dead with cattle into the other world after sacrifice. It has been precisely written down as to the order of how the animals will be sacrificed and who will have the honor of participating. The sacrifices start with the chickens and the pigs. Widows and widowers are prohibited from participating in this ritual slaughter. In the case of Indu Rusa's husband Barok, his sister is the first to drive the blade in, followed by his maternal uncle, and finally Gomer, the priest. After all the pigs have been slaughtered, sacrifice of the cattle begins. Their blood sprinkling the earth has a special meaning in the Kaharingan religion. The priest chanting transubstantiates the blood into the water of a holy lake. The souls of the dead are bathed in it, thus cleansed for entering the world of spirits. When the souls arrive in the upper world escorted by the souls of the sacrificed animals, the Sapundu figures are transformed into living helpers. They tend the animals belonging to the departed. While the cattle are being speared, they are repeatedly told by the rice as to why they must be sacrificed. They die an honorable and meaningful death to be an eternal part of the property of the deceased in the world of spirits. Today, a water buffalo is the most valuable animal of sacrifice to the Naju Dayak. A big, powerful bull like this one cost about $600. A simple farmer has to work for a year for one. This makes the water buffalo a special object of prestige. Only large families or wealthy individuals can afford to sacrifice a buffalo. After all the relatives of the deceased, notables of the village, and friends of the family are requested to pierce the sacrifice. Before the animal's throat is slit, its head must be turned to face east in the direction of the dawn. Only the first part of blood flowing from the throat can be used for ritual purposes. It is coated onto the sacrificial and ritual objects to purify them, and it becomes a